everyone, and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk some Fort Hays State football with head coach Chris Brown. We're at Horizon Appliance, Electronics, and Mattress. Jacob Mazzara throws on first down to Harley Hazlett. Hazlett into the clear at the 35, turns the Jets to the 40, breaks a tackle in midfield. Here he goes. 10-5. It is a touchdown on the first play of the game. 6-0.
It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Presented by Horizon Appliance and Mattress. The lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and accessories. And most importantly, mattresses. Open 7 days a week at 1501 East 27th in Hays. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis, the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, the Certified Public Accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball, BTI, The Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive.
And a good Monday, and welcome into Tiger Talk. This is Gerard Wellbrock. We'll be joined here in just a minute by head football coach Chris Brown as we talk some Tiger football, our first Tiger Talk of the year. Normally, of course, we always do one before the season, but that fell on Labor Day, and with a short work week and the Thursday night game, we have our first program tonight. We're at a new location, Horizon Appliance and Mattress at 1501 East 27th and Hays. We really appreciate the great folks at Horizon Appliance and Mattress for hosting us this year. We're back in the mattress section today. They've got a great selection of mattresses, something for all of your needs. So stop on by. They're at 1501 East 27th and Hays and open 7 days a week. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. And we've got some Fort Hays State football to talk about. Unfortunately, not quite the start the Tigers were looking for as they dropped their season opener in Warrensburg to the Mules of Central Missouri on Thursday night. 34-30 was the final, and we are joined now by the Tigers head man, Chris Brown, and obviously not the way you'd hoped it would have started, although for about 50 or so minutes, it was looking pretty good, but things just didn't quite end the way you'd hoped. I guess your overall thoughts, now you've had a few days to reflect on it, and I know you've moved on, looking forward to this Thursday, but your overall thoughts on everything on Thursday night.
I thought we played hard, for the most part. Going into it, I didn't think we were as physical as we should be, but I thought our kids played hard. I thought we did some good things on both sides of the ball, but when it came down to taking that game over and winning that game, we didn't do that. And I thought we were relaxed, like you said, I felt about the 7-minute mark when they had the fake punt right before the fake punt. We kind of got relaxed a little bit. Our kids felt pretty confident we're going to win that game, but you got to play for 60 minutes. And, we didn't do that. 2 big pass plays and, not getting some first downs on offense and running the clock out. So things we still got to work on, things we got to really clean up, and, we just got to get better week in and week out.
The highs were high. I mean, there's some things I thought you did very, very well, and when you executed, showed certainly the potential for what this team can be on both sides of the ball, but there were definitely some valleys in there and some key mistakes really by all phases. Offense, defense, special teams all had some pretty big mistakes in the game that probably was one of the reason you lost it.
Yeah, and that's things we talked about, since we started preparing for Central Missouri was, defensively we can't give up the big play. We got to tackle well and, get some turnovers and get the ball back to our offense. And offensively we talked about, clock management and not turning the ball over and getting touchdowns instead of field goals and, and then on special teams, not giving up a big play on special teams. And, all 3 of those things happened to us. So the things you talk about and all the games you watched on TV were the same way. The teams that had the most turnovers and did bad on special teams would give up big plays, lost those games, and that's what happened to us in about the last 7-8 minutes of that game.
Offensively, you moved the ball. As far as final numbers, you have to be happy with the final stats in that regard, but kind of like last year at times, some possessions ended in field goals, and that's going to happen once in a while, but 2 or 3 that I'm sure you feel you should have been able to find a way to punch into the end zone, and that makes a complete difference in that final outcome.
It's huge. It could have been easily, 28-7 going in at half, but, those are things we got to work on. I mean, I thought, Dante did a great job. I love seeing Dante kick field goals, but, his field goals need to be 45-yard field goals, 50-yard field goals, not 30 and 25. In those situations, we got to get that ball in the end zone and score touchdowns. And if we can start doing that, I think we start putting a lot of points on the board and really stressing people.
Big plays. So you had some on offense, but you gave up some on defense. That's always kind of been, when you look at Fort Hays State's defenses over the years, kind of the bend but don't break and don't give up big plays. Unfortunately, gave up a lot of them on Thursday.
Yeah, we did. A couple of standouts. There's the long run. We had a guy had him wrapped up, in the backfield, and I thought I was stopped for sure, and they're going to punt the ball or us get the ball back, and he broke free and scored a long run, and then a couple busts in the secondary on 2 big pass plays. You take those 3 big plays away, we probably walk away, with a win. But it's kind of the same as last year. They kind of gave us that game last year, and then this year we gave it right back to them. So, now our backs are against the wall, and we just got to keep moving forward and get better.
Now the Tigers will be back in action. They'll be at home. Their home opener this Thursday night, taking on a very good Missouri Western team. We'll talk about the Griffins a little bit later on in the program, but we'll go back and revisit the ball game from Thursday night in Warrensburg here in just a moment. We are broadcasting from Horizon Appliance and Mattress. You'll find the lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and, of course, mattresses. They're at 1501 East 27th in Hays. And big thank you need to say to Warren's Meat Market. They've donated some food that is going to be cooked up on the Traeger for us. Coach comes and they cook for Coach on the Traeger grill, and we appreciate Warren's Meat Market providing the food, and we look forward to doing that here after the program. But you can see their full line of Traeger grills and all their outdoor grilling equipment, accessories, the rubs, the spices. They have it all here at Horizon Appliance, Electronics, and Mattress. We'll take our first break. We'll come back with more here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
I'm Patty Stoll, broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
Shotgun snap. Fuller goes downfield. He's got a man open. It's caught. Bieberly. Touchdown. Fort Hays State. Lane Bieberly caught it right at the goal line. And a beautiful pass from Fuller. He just dumped it in over the defense. And Fort Hays State scores on their opening possession of the game. They did that 6 times a year ago. And they do it again here today to open up 2019. And they lead it 6-0. Yeah, great way to start the game. Opening drive for the Tigers. It was a touchdown pass from Fuller to Lane Bieberly, and it was 6 times you had scored touchdowns on your opening drive. You had 7 opening possessions, and that makes it nice. And, boy, the way you did it, had a big third-down conversion right before that big pass play, but a 7-play, 78-yard drive, just under 3.5 minutes, and obviously felt good about things at that point of the ball game.
Yeah, we did. I guess we make every drive our first drive and just consider it that way. But, it did. It was a great way to start the game, and, even came back with a field goal after that. That's still a pretty good way to start the game as well. But, again, like we always talk about, it's touchdowns, not field goals. But, that's a great way to start it. Got some good plays in that game. We saw some things, offensively that we could attack and then get after them. And, our guys executed very well. And, we just got to keep executing, doing things in the right way, and just make sure we're doing our job every single time.
Charles Tigner had a big third-down conversion prior to the touchdown, a 23-yard pass from Fuller on 3rd down and 7. And he ran the ball better in the second half, but he was obviously a very effective part of that passing game. And, of course, his freshman year played wide receiver, but a back who can catch and do some damage when you get him in space, and he showed it on that 3rd down conversion. But he had quite a few catches in that game on Thursday night.
He did. He does it very well with the ball in his hands, especially when he catches it out of the backfield. And, he gets, positive yards, mostly all the time when he does that, and a good opportunity to make some big plays for us. And, we got to keep using him in that aspect of our game, and get him the ball in his hands and let him make some things happen. And sometimes he just needs to run. Sometimes he just stops when he sees a guy. He just needs to continue to running and quit jump cutting so much and just go beat some guys. He's got the speed. He just got to trust in his speed.
You mentioned getting the ball back. They fumbled on their first possession. You drive it all the way down to the 3, and when you look back at that game, that possession was big. You get it to the 3, look like you're poised to take it in for a touchdown, then it stalls. You had to settle for the 20-yard field goal, and obviously 14-0 on your first 2 possessions feels a heck of a lot different than 10-0, and I'm sure Central Missouri was kind of breathing a sigh of relief to only be down 10-0 at that point.
Yeah, you feel like you lost. When you kind of get to that point, you get all the way down there and you don't punch it in, and it feels kind of like a loss to you. So, we got to find a way to do it, whether it's tailbacks, whether it's catching the ball, whatever it might be. Somebody's got to step up, make a big play, make things happen. In that situation, let's go at 14 instead of just 10.
Offensive line, and you get down to the 3, you got to find a way to punch it in, and it felt like maybe they struggled in that first half, especially in the run game. It was hard to establish a presence on the ground. It was better in the second half, but that first half it was hard to run the football.
It is, and not exactly knowing what they were going to do, defensively against us with with the new coordinator that they had. So it was just us kind of trying to make some adjustments and them kind of adjusting to it as well, and going against different guys. You're going against our guys on defense, and then you're going against the scout team, and now it's a whole different group of guys that I thought were pretty athletic. I thought their D-line was a very athletic group, fast and big, explosive, and, we had to get used to that. And so it took a little bit, but I thought it got better in the second half.
It was nice to see Pat Kelly and Nathan Hale back there, both coming off of injury that they suffered against Central Missouri a year ago, and obviously those are 2 key components back to help bolster that O-line.
It is, it's good to get him back. They've been out for a while. It seems like Pat's been out for like 10 years, but it's good to see him back in the lineup and the things that he's doing. He's such a big, strong kid, athletic, moves well, and he's just a good football player, and then getting Nathan back at center, because he knows that position very well, and, getting people aligned with who the ID is and blocking schemes and those things. He does a great job too. So it's good to have him back, and, it kind of solidifies our offense and it makes us better.
How do they do? Do you see much rust on them after getting back out there?
A little bit, but just getting back in that game mode, and, you always, they sit out in there and just practice mode through spring and fall, and, but you saw it as the game went on, they got better, and that's good for us, and hopefully this next week they're even better.
Well, the Tigers got off to a great start. They're up 10-0 at that point in the ball game on Thursday night in Warrensburg. We'll talk more about the first half, and eventually we'll preview this Thursday night's home opener as the Tigers take on Missouri Western State. We are broadcasting from Horizon Appliance and Mattress, 1501 East 27th in Hays. Their Labor Day sale still going on, but you need to hurry. Just a few days left on the Labor Day sale. It runs until the 11th. Some great deals throughout the store, so stop on by at 1501 East 27th in Hays. It is Horizon Appliance and Mattress. We will take another break, be back with more on Tiger Talk right here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
Do you believe in love? Glory days. Well,
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Jay the holder, Van Pelt the long snapper. Dante Brown, 28 of 33 a year ago. There's the hold, there's the kick, it's got the distance, and it is going to be good. He nailed it right through the uprights. 51 yards for Dante Brown. Yeah, a new career long for Dante Brown, the 51-yard field goal, and the Tigers had a 13-0 lead after that kick, despite the Bell's distraction by the UCM folks. Dante was able to knock the field goal, and we've talked about it before, what a big weapon it is to have him in that foot, and it felt like he had kicked more from 50, but that was the first one of over 50 yards in his career, and it probably could have gone for 60.
Yeah, it could have. He's got a very, very strong leg, very accurate. The funny thing is, in practice, he's terrible. He seems like he can't make anything, but you get him in a game situation, it really locks in, and he's got a strong leg, so it's good to get. We get across the 35 at any point. We can get some points. Having Dante, so hopefully he continues to do what he's doing. But proud of that kid, and he does. He scores us a lot of points, and we always got opportunities with him. On our team.
he is also kicking off, and the last year he punted, he kicked. I mean, you kind of gave him a break for the most part on kickoffs. He's kicking off, and the first couple, I'm sure some of that was by design, low. The first one I think went out of bounds right at the goal line, but then obviously he shows his weapon with his leg there because I don't think they even had another return after that point. Everything was deep and out of the back of the end zone. Or if they did return it, they had to go at least 4 or 5 yards back and make a decision.
Yeah, he does. He has a strong leg. The first one was just kind of hit it wrong. Second one was the same way. Just getting back in that groove. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Dante gets in his own head, when something like that happens. So just had a little talk to him. He's a great kicker. Stay positive. What happens, happens. It's in the past. Let's just move forward. And he does. When he gets a hold of it, that thing flies, and it makes it tough for a return team. On
that 51-yard field goal, you started at your own 20 and moved it down to their 36, and then things just kind of stalled. A couple of incomplete passes and then the short run, and had to settle for the field goal. And again, we're moving the ball very nicely right up until that point.
We were, it's just I don't know what happens, that's what with our team at that point. We just need to stay to the grind, stay physical, stay aggressive, and sometimes I just think our kids relax a little bit, once they get out there, because, in practice you go about 6 plays and then it's on to the second group and they get about 6 plays. So maybe we start doing 10, 12 plays in practice and then the next group grow. But, it's just staying locked in, staying focused and making the plays. And, we call on our kids to make plays. And when your number's called, you better make the play.
Well, I thought the game really swung then on Central's next possession. They get the 66-yard touchdown run from Colby Wilkerson on a third and less than a yard, and you had him bottled up. I mean, he was going to lose yardage. You were probably going to get the ball back, and, up 13-0. I mean, that obviously has a whole different feel, and then he somehow broke free around 3 or 4 different guys in the backfield and scampered up the near side for 66 yards, and then from that point on, it was pretty much game on.
Yeah, it was. It was turned into a heck of a football game, after that point. But that's still a situation, we got to make that play in the backfield. You got to make that tackle. You got to wrap up. We got to gang tackle as well and get more guys to the ball. And, we just didn't do it. But then, the game's not over. We can't deflate. We got to stay strong, stay positive, and there's still a lot of game left. And let's just go get after it, get on the field, go make some more plays, and, score some more points, and then get our defense back out there and get the ball back to our offense. And it's, we can't let little things like that deflate us. Sometimes I feel like our kids, one little thing happens, they kind of, start worrying and start stressing a little bit and panic, and, we can't do that.
Well, you came back. You answered. You got a field goal in the next possession, but again, probably some frustration because Lane Bieberly makes a phenomenal catch down to their 23-yard line, and you looked like you were going to have the answer, and again, kind of stalled out right there, and that was another key situation. You go in and punch in 7, a whole different outcome.
It is. It's a big play. Now let's go make another big play, and our guys again just stalled out and. Maybe thought it was going to be easy, to get it in the end zone then at that point. But still, it's, we got to be more sound, on both sides of the ball, whether it's offense or defense, and even our special teams. And like I said, go make the plays when your name's called. And, we just got to do a better job of punching things in the end zone and getting touchdowns. And maybe it should come with time. And I think offensively we could be very explosive because I feel like we've got a lot of players that have got a lot of experience. When you look at Harley and Bieberly and Jay and Matt and Charles, I mean, there was a lot of guys there, and then you had Manny to the mix as well, and Dandre Reed and those guys, and Butke. I mean, there's tons of potential on that side of the ball, so we need to find a way to score more points and try to put some of these games away.
You had 2 more possessions before halftime to try to add to it. You went 3 and out of the first, and then a couple of big penalties on the second one. Obviously, the Manny Ramsey, and he got into it with a player, and it's a guy who it's always the second one gets caught. And that was a case right there, but. Another one on Lane Bieber, I just want to add, it's a rule, the blindside block, and I'm curious what the explanation was, and you could see Lane going off the field trying to get it because he was standing there, and you could almost see him, should I block him or not block him? But the defensive back ran right into him, and that's a tough situation, but I guess the rule is the rule, and it kind of bit you guys right there. What was the official's explanation? And do you have to change now how you go about blocking downfield? Because that's been such a big part of your receiving core and their ability to block.
Yeah, it is hard, and it just, when I talked to the official about it, it was, basically Lane just went to protect himself, by lowering the shoulder, protecting himself so he didn't get ran over, but if he just would have put his hands up and shielded, probably wouldn't have called anything. But because he did some type of movement with his shoulder, that they called it a blindside block. So it's hard, So we had to change it. We're probably going to change some things up just to make sure that we don't have those things happen again. And I don't know how you make that block. And as a defender now, you're you're teaching your guys to, don't look at that.
That'd go in and make contact.
Don't look at him.
You
Go make the contact. Fall down, and you'll get the call. So it's good for the defensive guys and bad for the offensive guys. So we just have to find ways to maybe get more vertical first, and then kind of hit them square up, or turn our backs. I don't know what you say, or just put your hands up and let the guy run into you. So I don't really know how we're going to make this work. We've got to find a way to make it happen so we don't have that happen again.
Well, obviously, that kind of thwarted that drive, and the Tigers went into the halftime locker room leading by a score of 16-7. We'll take another break. We'll talk about the second half, and boy, there was a lot of action, and then take a preview look at this Thursday night's game, which has turned into a rather large one with the Griffins of Missouri Western at Lewis Field at 7 o'clock. We are at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. They're your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer. We're back in the bedding section today for the program. A great selection of mattresses of all styles and sizes and shapes, and really everything that you will possibly need. If you got a bad back, you need a firmer mattress, maybe something a little bit softer, they've got it. And come visit with their experts. They'll find the mattress that fits your need here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress. They're at 1501 East 27th, and we're certainly glad that they're hosting us this year on Tiger Talk. We will take another break, be back with more from Horizon Appliance and Mattress right here on Tiger Talk. It's a Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Horizon, the appliance and mattress store for you. Did you know sleep is the single most important thing you'll do today? Experts recommend replacing your mattress every 10 years. See the all-new Tempur-Pedic Breeze. It transfers heat away from your body, helping you sleep up to 8 degrees cooler all night long. Receive up to 48 months no interest and take home a $300 gift with purchase. Get the sleep you deserve. Horizon, the appliance and mattress store for you in Hayes.
Full to throw, steps up, deep downfield, looking for Bieberly, makes a diving catch at the Mule 25. There was jostling down the sideline, but he got a step on Pringle, and he dives and makes the catch. They're going to mark him down at the 23-yard line, and a gain of 39 yards. Yeah, that was that catch that set up that third Dante Brown field goal from 36 yards out there in the second quarter. Lane had a couple of really nice catches, had the touchdown catch, and we've kind of noticed this the last couple of years. There was some jostling going on, but it seems like they're letting that go a little bit more. If the defensive back and the receiver are both engaged, unless it's something obvious where you're holding, but we saw that last year. They're kind of letting defensive backs be physical and receivers back. That was the case there. No flag thrown, and a great diving catch by Lane.
It was very, very impressive, and that's Lane. He's good at it. He's good at getting separation as well, but they let us play. There's a couple on us. I was watching our own guys going, man, I can't believe they didn't call that, but that's the way they let them play. That's the way that they did it, and then they'll just play a little bit, and I kind of like it that way. And then let you play the game, because as coaches, you don't want to see a lot of flags thrown, and that's just a good example there of guys fighting for the ball and then just getting that last separation at the end to catch it.
Yeah, we'll see if it's consistent throughout, but I thought last year, for the most part, it was, and even the year before that. I just feel like there are. Unless it's egregious and it's something obvious, where you got the guy's shoulder pad in your hand, they're going to let you jostle a little bit, and they certainly did there. Lane now 17 yards shy of 2,000 in his career, and obviously he had talent when you signed him out of Claflin and Central Plains High School, but he's done a lot to work, get bigger, get faster, get stronger, and he's become, you start looking, he's going to be on the all-time list of some of the all-time greats at Fort Hays State of that wide receiver position.
Yeah, and he deserves it. He's worked his tail off. I think he came in at like 130, it looked like. We probably weighed 160, and now I think he's up to 190, 195, and he looks good. His speed's even better than when he first got here, but he's a kid that's put the time in the weight room and has done very well in the classroom too, and has, just does everything right. When you get kids like that bust their tail for you and their teammates, good things usually happen, and he's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I think he put on about 10 or 15 pounds from last season. Third quarter was a lot of offense. The first two possessions, which actually bled for you guys into the fourth quarter, both teams scored, so 4 touchdowns in the 4 possessions. It was back and forth, and you had to like your guys' response. UCM got the ball to start the third. They take it down and score. You come back and answer. They do it again, and you came back and answered once again. So it was kind of like a tennis match going back and forth, but you had an answer every time they scored.
Yeah, and he had to. It's one of those situations that we have to score points in those situations and get it done. And You know, I'm proud of our offensive guys for getting it done, but defensively we got to keep them out of the end zone. And a lot of it was big plays that kind of led up to those things as well. But we have to score in those situations. If they score, we got to score. And sometimes offense has got to help defense, and then sometimes it's going to be the defense helping the offense, and the special teams got to help both sides of it. But in that instance, it was good our offense got those points.
Got our first sighting of Takori Tutson, the redshirt freshman out of Florida, Shaq's cousin. He came in the third quarter. I think the first carry he had went for 17 yards. He had another 18-yarder, scored a touchdown. I know you've been excited about him, trying to get him a little bit bigger. He still has that high school body frame, and waiting for him to grow again, and obviously the strength program and everything. But certainly could see flashes of why you guys are excited. Very good quickness, seemed to have some pretty good instincts. It was nice for him to find the end zone, but certainly one of the bright spots and one of the future stars, hopefully, for Fort Hays State.
Yeah, it is. When you watch him, he looks a lot like Shaq. When he's standing there in the backfield and got his hands on his knees ready to go play, he's like, is that Shaq back there? But it's Takori. I mean, he reminds you a lot of Shaq in the way he runs, and he's fast, he's physical. He does a good job of getting vertical as well. When he needs to. He's 160 pounds. We get him up to 180, 185, and keep that speed and keep his physicality that he plays with, he's going to be a very, very good back for us.
Seemed like he came in and hit the hole, and then Charles kind of followed suit. And the first half, Tigner was maybe dancing a little bit too much for your liking, but it felt like he hit the hole quicker and better results because of it.
Yeah, well, he did. And it's something we talk about with Charles all the time is, be patient, see it, and then hit it. Sometimes he hops around too much and gets himself in a bad position and loses balance and can't get vertical. So those are things that he's really been working on lately is just doing the one cut and getting vertical. And hopefully, we can carry over this next week of him hitting the cut, getting vertical and just being physical. Because he's a strong kid. And he runs hard, and he's hard to bring down. He just needs to trust in himself and believe in himself and believe in his strength.
Well, obviously a big play came in that fourth quarter. You had the 9-point lead. It looked like you had him stopped. A big sack from Jonathan Williams, one of the newcomers on the defensive line, and Sheldon Schmidt got him in a fourth and I think 13, and they run the fake punt. Obviously a breakdown there, and that was kind of from that point on, it kind of unraveled for you guys on the defensive end. What was the problem on that punt coverage, and why did that play work?
And it was a great call by Coach Dudley, with what he called. It's not one of those situations where you want to go for a block because, you're going to get a good field position anyway. You don't want to be too easy because now, and have a different, just from a returner back, you want to have the ball, catch the ball, and have good field position, be able to get a good return. So, two guys did their job and two guys didn't. And it really wasn't a called fake. And you can see that when you watch film, the punter just saw that the edge was open and he took it. We should have had a guy sitting there on that edge, and then we had another guy spying who both of them just took off down the field to go block. And when you don't do your job, bad things happen. So that's one of those situations where we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and they got the first down, and that led to a touchdown.
Yeah, next play, and you see it so many times. It wasn't a turnover, but, it was a sudden play, sudden shift in the game, and they get the big pass play to score to get it within 2, and then you could really kind of feel that momentum creeping back to their side, and it became a challenge after that.
Yeah, it did. It really did, and that's where offensively we got to kind of take the game over and, take some time off the clock, get some first downs, and that's just something we haven't been able to do since, it's been a while, and so that's where our offense has got to take over, go get some first downs, take some time off, go score some points, go get another touchdown, and hopefully put this thing away. But, that didn't happen for us.
You got one final chance. You had 4 incomplete passes, and that kind of ended the threat of the game. You were trying to milk the clock, I guess, midway through the fourth quarter. Chance would let the play clock run down. Do you feel that maybe took some of the rhythm and everything away offensively at all during the second half?
I don't know. We work it a little bit in practice, too. It shouldn't. It should, if anything, give you a chance to catch your breath and see things a little bit better instead of having that rush and knowing exactly where you're supposed to block or the hole you're supposed to hit or where you're supposed to run your route. So, to me, it shouldn't change anything. You're still playing. You're just getting a little bit more rest, and just gives you a better opportunity to see exactly what they're going to line up in. And we just got to get it done. We just got to make things happen and get first downs, and then hopefully go score a touchdown and put it away. But we didn't.
It was a warm, humid night. Obviously, cramps were a big issue, and I know you really worked on preparing for that, but still had some problems with that for some key guys in that second half.
Yeah, we did, and it's we fed them tons of Gatorade and tons of water, and I couldn't believe the way we were cramping up because usually a very conditioned football team, and those things usually don't hurt us. But for some reason, that the heat got to us, or the humidity, whatever it might be, and our guys were falling out like flies. And heck, I was even stretching guys on the sideline trying to get some of those cramps out. And I don't know, maybe they need to start early in the week hydrating themselves, because it doesn't start, the day before game. It starts through the whole week, and you got to make sure they're eating properly and getting the nutrients they need to be successful. And maybe they just need to take a look and see what they're eating and what they're doing, and change it.
Well, Tigers unfortunately fall 34-30 to the Mules, and now it sets up a rather large game for the home opener against Missouri Western on Thursday night. We'll have a preview look with the head coach. We are broadcasting from Horizon Appliance and Mattress. You'll find the lowest prices anywhere on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and, of course, a full line of mattresses. We're broadcasting from the mattress section today, and, boy, they've got a lot of them back here. So check it out when you're in the market for a mattress. They will take care of you. And their Labor Day sale still going on. Need to hurry, though. It ends on the 11th here at Horizon Appliance and Mattress at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. We will take our final break right here on Tiger Talk along the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Hazlett and Bieberly split to the left. Shea to the right. Shotgun for Fuller. Central shows blitz. Fuller takes the snap to the end zone, leaping up and making a touchdown catch. Harley Hazlett. Oh, what a catch by the Abilene senior. Over 2 Mule defenders in the end zone, and Fort Hays State answers the Mule touchdown with one of their own. It's 22-14 with 8:14 to go in the third. Yeah, that was impressive, and Harley's such a tall, big, strong kid, and really is one of those guys. He returns kicks. He utilizes them in so many ways. He'll run the ball a little bit. Haven't seen the Wildcat package, but obviously that has been used before, so that's always a possibility there with him. And just a strong receiver. Hard to bring down, but that was impressive. Over 2 guys, just one up and kind of out-fought them and muscled that football away for the touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what I expect out of Harley. He's big, he's strong, physical, and those type of plays he needs to make all the time. And he's got a great vertical as well, so he can go up over some guys and get some balls. But those are things I expect him to do, week in and week out, whether it's on kickoff return, whether it's blocking, whether it's receiving, whatever it is, him running the ball. I expect big things of him when he's got the ball in his hands. So he needs to make those plays consistently. And once he does that, it's really going to help our team out.
Well, last year after the second game of the year, you were 1-1. And obviously you got on a roll. You lost that one to Emporia and still made the playoffs and shared for an MIAA championship. So a win on Thursday, you can be in the same position and your team still has a lot to play for, but yet this is a big game, and the fact that your home opener, all the pressure squarely on Fort Hays State. This is kind of you hate to say it, week 2, but if you want to have a chance at a conference championship, this is kind of must-win time already.
We got to win out. That's just the way it is now. Central Missouri is a very good football team, and they're going to be hard to beat. They keep Bowles healthy, and a lot of their guys. They have some playmakers now on both sides of the ball. So, we got to win out, and hopefully, somebody beats UCM. But they're a tough team, and I don't know if anybody will or not. But they're good. So it's our job now to take care of business, and we have to win out right now. There's 2 teams right now, 0-1, playing this Thursday, and somebody's going to be 0-2 and somebody's going to be 1-1, and we need to be on that 1-1 side.
Missouri Western beat you at their place a year ago, and that was a frustrating game. I think you had 3 possessions start inside their territory. You never got any points out of that. You had 3 turnovers in the game. It was just kind of a disaster, and one that I know you felt terrible afterwards, and so did everybody involved in that one. But an improved program. They won 7 games, won a bowl game that last season, and then they gave Northwest all they wanted. It was a 3-point game with about 8.5 to go. They ended up losing by 10, but obviously a Western team that feels they're kind of ready to make that next move after winning 7 a year ago. It's going to be a hungry team that's playing pretty well.
They are. They're playing really well, and just It's hard to watch that game last year because you always go back and watch it to see what they did to you, defensively or offensively. But it's hard to watch just to see all the mistakes that we made in that game last year. Just a couple drop balls were touchdowns, and then the interceptions and guys not running the right routes, and all those little things. And this team has improved. They really have. They got some new faces, on both sides of the ball. But when you watch them, they're very sound, on offense and defense, and they just do things well, and they take care of the ball. In that game they had a few bad snaps last week, which I think hurt them. But, they're a good football team, and, we better be ready to play.
It's interesting. They've always had a strong running game. Of course, they had Josh Caldwell for so many years. Thursday against Northwest, they threw it for 270 and only ran for 79. Now, Northwest is traditionally one of the best teams against the run in the country, but it seemed like they're airing it out because they really struggled throwing the ball a year ago.
Yeah, they did a good job, and, I thought, watching them against Northwest, they did a good job of balancing out with the run and the pass. But it's so hard to run.
Yeah.
It's hard to do anything against Northwest defense, and it's not fun being an offensive coach when you got to play Northwest defense. But I thought they did some good things. Even in the run game, they had some very nice runs. Watching that film, and they do some counter action, they do some quarterback run as well, and they got some play action out of it too, and that just makes it tough on a defense. But I think offensively they're sound and they're good, and and then our defense is the same way. They're very salty, they're physical, they're not real big up front, but they're very, very athletic and they move very well, which will give you some fits, offensively. So we got our work cut out for us. They're a very good football team, and there's a good chance if we don't play well and do the things that we're supposed to, we could end up 0-2.
Well, this is one of those situations when the opportunity presents, whatever the case, turnover, good field position. You got to score. You got to get touchdowns. I think that obviously changes everything last Thursday, and if you can do that this Thursday, it's going to change the whole outlook. But you guys got to focus and be ready to go, obviously, this week, because this will be a big one for them, big test.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge one. But just like we say, defensively, we can't give up the big play. We got to create some turnovers, make them earn everything. Then offensively, we can't turn the ball over, and we can't settle for field goals. That's all there is to it. We got to go get some touchdowns, and every time we get in the opportunity to score a touchdown, and we need to do it. And we got to make plays. We can't have drop balls. We can't throw picks. We got to run hard, offensively and defensively. We got to be physical and aggressive and tackle well and not give up the big play. If we do that, good things are going to happen for us. And then special teams wise, we need to get some big returns.
Yeah.
We really, really do. And then we need to make sure we're changing field position every time and make sure we got the good end of the deal on that.
Well, we'll see if that happens. It's going to be a 7 o'clock kick on Thursday night at Lewis Field, home opener for the Tigers. We certainly hope you can be there. Need a big crowd, make some noise, and make Lewis Field a tough environment to play as it has been really for the last handful of years now. So we'll see you at the stadium. It's a 7 o'clock kick, and our coverage will begin at 6 o'clock with the Auto World pregame show right here on the Tiger Sports Network. Of course, you can we'll have the program again next week, 6 o'clock, right here on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can always watch Tiger Talk online at hayspost.com. Just hover over that Eagle TV icon on the top left and click on Tiger Talk, and on Eagle Cable Channel 614 and 14. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. you can watch the rebroadcast of Tiger Talk. It's presented by these premier Tiger sponsors, the Hayes-Med Orthopedic Institute. It's all part of the University of Kansas Health System. The Taco Shop, Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, BTI, and G&L Tire and Automotive. And, of course, Horizon Appliance and Mattress, where you'll find the lowest prices on kitchen and laundry appliances, Traeger grills, and, of course, mattresses, all at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. We'll see you back here on Tiger Talk next week, 6 o'clock on Monday, and hope to see you at Lewis Field. We're on the air at 6, kickoff at 7 for the Tigers and the Missouri Western State Griffins, the home opener for the Fort Hays State Tigers. For Coach Chris Brown, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.